welcome back to Phases Life Vibes. I am your host, Invalette Sunshine. I'm so excited to be with you guys. It's been a minute. I've been MIA. Whenever you multitask and you're here and you're there and you're everywhere, you kind of get distracted from what really means a lot to you. And that's been me lately. This channel means a lot to me. It's who I am. It makes me happy. It's my comfort zone. And I feel like I put things out that help people. I have to say that I'm doing this video just to share some information with you all. Just to be blatantly honest with what's been going on with phases. So Phases the Next Level. I have a channel with Phases the Next Level. The channel is really, it has grown, it's doing really well. But I think it's going in the wrong direction at this point because of the story that I'm covering, which is the R. Kelly story. And I have strong opinions about things. So first of all, I want to say I don't support anything that is illegal or violates women or underage kids, men being with underage kids and doing women and kids harm. I do not agree with that. So what I did is I wanted to cover the story on both sides of the fence. People that were close to R. Kelly, people that were alleging the things that they're alleging against him. And the majority of the people that came forward, all the people that came forward were for R. Kelly, were wanting to speak on his behalf of the good things that he's done. And to say, I was with him 7 years, 8 years, day in, day out. I didn't see any of these things these people are saying. And so I met a lot of people in high places. I've interviewed a lot of people. I've interviewed people that were close to the alleged victims that were able to bring their real truth about, that showed things that were discrepancies in what they were saying as well. And so it got to a point where I didn't mean to insert myself purposely as deep as it had gotten, but it got to the point where I went to Chicago. I got some coverage in Chicago, and I also was able to sit down and have a conversation with R. Kelly. I met him, I spoke with him, and I spoke with him several times after I left Chicago before he went to jail this last time and wasn't able to get out. Now, he's a human being, and he said in the Gayle King interview, I've done some things that I'm not happy for. What I'm saying, and I don't want to talk too much more about it, is that I want to just speak about phases, about me and my involvement, is that I've always said I stand for what is right, what is true, and what's honest, but I'm always women empowerment. But I want to stand for what's right and what's true. And when I start as a journalist, as a good journalist, you read, you investigate, you find out what's as close to the truth as you can get. And for every alleged victim that came out on him, just for the ones that we know of from Lifetime, there have been some discrepancies in their stories. All the fight was for is for him to be able to get a fair trial, for somebody to hear him and hear his side, or his lawyers to fight for him to go to bats for him for what's right, and to prove his innocence. And he hasn't been convicted of any of these things, but he's been convicted in the media, in the eye of the public, because of the stories that came out. But I've always said this, and I stand on this. It doesn't matter if you're the king of R&B. It doesn't matter if you're the janitor. If you violate young girls and women, you have to pay for that. You cannot walk around here and continue to do that and get away with it. God does not like ugly. And what goes around comes around. And so I just continued to follow the story. And it was good in the beginning because I was getting information. I was compiling information. I was hearing the alleged victim saying, I'm lying about this. I lied to him. Well, maybe he's not guilty of everything everybody's saying against him. So continue to fight for him. But then it started getting really grimy, like bloggers that are supposed to be journalists and just put out the story, just like any other newscast, only it's on YouTube, started fighting amongst each other, pulling up people's backgrounds and records and families. And it was just not who I am. So and it's tarnished my spirit. Like I was just in a dark place because of it. And that's not what, it's not even worth it. It's not what journalism is for me, what the kind of journalism I want to do. And so I have been battling with it, and I've been talking with my mother about it. I've been talking with my fiance about it, just battling with myself and talking to God about it. I got to wake up. So I want to shout out Kimmy. She came on and she said, I supported you until you started covering the R. Kelly story. Sorry. Which everybody has their own opinion, and you can feel how they want to feel, and you can support me or you don't have to support me, right? But that was just like, I took it as confirmation, almost offensive at first. I'm like, what are you getting offended for when you've been battling and wrestling with it? This is like confirmation for you to get out of it, because it's just tarnishing my spirit. And I wasn't raised to do those things. And in my life today, I don't participate in mess. I don't participate in bickering back and forth and putting people down and hurting people. I don't care what side of the fence you're on. I don't get into that. So that was confirmation. Thank you, Kimmy, for saying that, because nobody was bold enough to tell me it, say, hey, what the heck? So anyway, I talked to God, help me, help me, help me. My answer every time was step away from that story. Step away from that story and get back to who you are, because you're more happy in that place. That's who you are. That's who God created you to be. You're not part of mess. He didn't create you to be in such a mess. So I'll cover the story on breaking news and stuff that comes out, a little bit here and there, but I am full-fledged out and off of that R. Kelly story, because I want to be happy. I want to share happy news. I want to motivate women and their families. I want to help people to be better than they were yesterday. And I want to help people grow into who God created them to be, if anything I could say to do that. So it's almost like talking out two sides of my mouth, right? I'm for women empowerment and empowering their families, but yet I'm in this dark stuff that has nothing to do with God. None of that is godly that's going on in that situation. And so it's not my place to say he's guilty or innocent. It's not my place to do that. My place is to get the information out. And that's what I was trying to do in a peaceful manner. So again, I stand here and say, I have to stand on what I believe, and that I support R. Kelly in everything that's right, everything that's fair and good, and anything that's illegal, anything that he's done wrong that comes out in court in the evidence, any of that, I do not support that, and he has to pay for it. He has to pay for it. You cannot walk around and do things that are illegal and that are violate women and children. You got to pay for it. And that's it. So anyway, I'm back over here. I had to get it out, but I had to unmask and be honest with what was going on and what I stand for and what I care about. I do care about justice for all people. Particularly, we know in the past that our Black men were being shot and killed. Young Black boys shot and killed for a hoodie on your head and just all kinds of stupid stuff that was unjustly, and no one had to answer to that and pay for that. But then when we get in the realm of sexual abuse and molestation and all these other things, that's a whole nother ball game. And that's just something that I don't want to be a part of any longer. Other than being just a normal journalist. Like, I don't want to go meet nobody else. I don't want to go and have somebody say, well, it's because of me that you did this, or nothing. Because what I want is everything that I get and everything I do want it to be because of God did it. And nobody gets the credit but God. And so I'm back. And I want to live for God, and I want to do what's right, and I want to report on those things which are good and honest and true. Am I going to continue on Phases the Next Level? Absolutely. There are so many other stories that I could cover. other than something like that that's really tarnishing my spirit. And so as I continue to cover stories over there, and if I feel like it's heavy on me, and if I feel like it's tarnishing my spirit, or making me, or my, I don't want to say too much to offend anybody, but I don't want, if it does, any story over there that makes me feel like that, then I'm gonna have to walk away, because I don't want to be arguing with other bloggers. I don't want to do it. I'm no argue with people here in my real life, let alone in the YouTube streets. I don't do that. That's not who I am. That's not who I'm created to be. So anyway, again, I had to unmask. This was a hard conversation to come to Life Vibes and speak about, but it's my truth. It's the truth on how I moved and maneuvered over there. And so it's going to be different. It's going to be different. So you'll see more of me, more good things, more things that are more kind, things of empowerment, to empower, things that we can talk about how good God is, and how he supplies our every need, and how he carries us through this. And even in Robert Kelly, R. Kelly situation, God will carry him. He won't put any more on us than we can bear. And whatever he's facing, whatever he has to do, whatever it looks like for him, God is with him, just like he's with all of us. And that's it. A lot of people were saying, I'm tired of that story. I'm tired of the R. Kelly story. Whew, y'all can't be no more tired than I am. It's not of God. It's none of that is about God. So I'm back. Now, I want to talk about really quick. I want to talk about what my pastor talked about on Sunday. And it was basically, being the best you can be, sharing your gifts, utilizing your gifts and and the things that God has placed in us. Find out why we're here. What is our purpose, and how do we get to that? Well, how we get to that is you have to pray. You have to seek God for direction, and you have to be willing to fail. And that's a big word, the big F word, fail. Everybody is afraid to fail because maybe of what people will say about them, or because they'll be embarrassed or whatever. But in order to grow into the person that God has created you to be, you have to be willing to fail. You have to be willing to step outside of the box. You have to be able to make yourself uncomfortable, put yourself in uncompromising situations where, you're in this box normally and you're just used to doing the same thing day in and day out. But you have to step outside that box and get a little uncomfortable and try things and find what you like to do, and then do it well. And then because what failure does, failure is a learning mechanism. It's a tool to help you it's a knowledge tool. So you learn what how did I mess that up? Where did I fail? What did not quite do right? Or what should I have done better? Or what should I have done different? Okay, and then you learn from that, and then you just keep pushing. Failure, if you fall, it's an accident. But if you stay down and you wallow in it, it's a choice. So a lot of everything that we do is a matter of choices. So what choice will you make? Will you make choices to be better? Will you make choices to fail, learn, understand, and grow and move on? Will you choose your dream to live or to die? It has to be choices. It's just a matter of choices. And know that our choices, with every choice, there's a consequence. So if we make some good choices, we'll have some good consequences. If we make some not so good choices, then we will have some not so good consequences. But in all of that, it's learning. It's learning. The fact of the matter, though, is that you have to know, not be able to, you have to know that God is who carries us. We cannot make it a day without him. We can't make it. Like some people, we feel like we're maneuvering around without him. Like we don't need him. We got this. But he created us, and he's the reason we're living. And every day that he gives us is a gift. And so our time is precious. So we have to utilize that in a way that we're not just idle time. Idle minds get you not in some not so good places. So anytime you have a chance or some free time, pick up your Bible and read it. Talk to God, listen to God, and ask him to guide your direction. And that's what I had to do over there. I had to say, okay, God, you know who I am. You know what I'm going through, and I'm done. I want to be done with it, and I want to walk away. And then I would get an interview, or I want to be done, and I want to go, oh, this story came out. You have to make a choice. It's my sanity and my health and my spirit. Is it worth sacrificing for darkness? No, not at all. And so that's what we have to do. Some of us say, I'm just depressed and I don't know what to do. Okay, you recognize the problem. So then how do you fix it? Is it so bad that you need to see someone to get it fixed? Or is it that if you just really tune into yourself and really do some soul searching, some prayer, some quiet time with God, some quiet time alone, just thinking, how can I get past this? Go talk to a friend, go talk to a counselor, whatever you need to do, but don't stay in it. Don't stay in it. Do you choose to live and let your dreams live on and you reach your dreams? Or do you just let them go and you just let them die and say, oh, I wish I would have, now it's too late. The only time that it's too late is when you're under the ground, when life is over for you, when the lights are out for good. As long as God gives us another day, then we can press on, we can move on. I don't care how young you are. I don't care how seasoned you are. As long as God gives you breath in your body and he gifts you another day, GIFTS, gifts you another day, then that means you still have that opportunity to be better, to grow, and to get closer and closer to where it is you want to be. So I would say that if it's anything in your life that you regret, and we all do things that we regret, but just recently think over your life about the last year, the last 6 months in your life, and you were making choices that you really are not happy about, that really didn't get you anywhere really when you look at it at the end of the day, then it's okay. What you need to do is do some soul searching, do some revamping, revising, and move on. If you've done things that are not godly, ask for forgiveness and mean it. Apologize to whoever it is you've done it to, or apologize to yourself. Apologize to God for walking away from him, because he never walks away from us. And once you do that, move on with your life. If you're sad and depressed, choose happiness. Choose happiness. Sometimes it's hard. Listen, no one's perfect. We're going to go through what we're going to go through. But you'll be okay if you just be consistent in trying to be better. Be consistent. When you fail, fall hard, fall big, and get back up, right? So whatever you've done over the last year, we're in a new decade, it's 2020, and God's given us life. Take some time out for yourself and look back over your life, the last year, the last 6 months, the last 3 months of your life. And if you looking back a whole year to now and you haven't made any changes, when do you start? Because tomorrow's not promised. You got to start now. So you have the opportunity now. Take advantage of what you have, of what God has given us. He's throwing it at us. He's putting it right there for us. Then we need to grab a hold of it and say, okay, God, me and you. And the last point that I want to make, and my pastor hit on this, people will not support you. When you're growing, when you're happy, when you're doing things that makes a difference in your community that's impactful, people will be jealous of that. People will not cheer you on. So what I've learned is to clap for myself. Yay. Yay, phases. Clap for myself. Cheer myself on. If you have to walk alone, that's the best walk, because that's where you are the strongest, is when you feel like you're alone, but know that God is always with you. So if they're going to talk about you, smile at them. Thank you. Thank you for my stepping stool. Those are stepping stools to get higher and higher. So if just know everybody's not going to support you, but your dream is not everybody's. God gave it to you. So if that means walking along and getting that strength, then walk along and get that strength you need, that strength that you need to get there. He's there. He'll pull you through. You have to have faith and believe in God that whatever he has for you, you will step into that. But he's saying, I gave you some sense of authority to do it. Now I got your back. You take one step, I'll do the rest. I'll push you along. I'll grab you, I'll pull you. But you got to have faith, and you got to start somewhere. So where are you going to start? Where are you going to start? I'm starting by letting things go that are not of God. I'm starting by getting my spirit lifted back up and getting that taintedness out of me. I'm starting by walking away from mess and darkness. That's where I'm starting, and I'm grabbing a hold of God, and I'm going to do it his way. And when I fail, I'm going to fail big, because I'm going to win big in the end. Me and God. I do thank everybody for support. The people that do support me, that have been there from day one, the people that have gradually connected to me along the way and that I've connected to. I'm thankful. I thank God for that support. And it does help. It helps us along the way. You know, you have those certain people that no matter what you do, I'm telling you right now, I don't think anybody around me was wanting me to do the R. Kelly story, period. When I say nobody, I meant my mother, my kids, my brothers and sisters, I'm sure my church family, my fiance. No one wanted me to cover that story because they can't stand R. Kelly. But that's part of journalism. But I had to recognize that for myself. And here I am. It didn't break me. I failed. And I only failed in the fact that I allowed myself to get in the midst of that griminess, right? That was my failure. But I felt big, because I was like, this is not me. This is not me. But I continued to do it. And so that's where I failed. But I learned a lot. I learned a lot. I'm back, and I'm brushing myself off. And I'm sticking my chest out, and I'm moving forward. And I hope the same for you. You guys, say your prayers. Be kind to one another. Serve others unselfishly. And until next time, I'll see you soon. Thank you for being here.